Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Saturday, May 2nd, and a good cup of coffee. Hmm. So it was a pretty busy week. Yep. If you didn't know already, I'm a recruiter for what I think was probably one of the better recruitment agencies out there, simply from a philosophical standpoint and what we stand for. Um, and from a work environment standpoint, we are very cohesive in lifting people up because everybody's prone to mistakes, right? No matter how good you are, um, you're always going to make mistakes. You're always going to mess up. Hopefully, the older you get, the fewer the mistakes are. But I started thinking about kind of the types of people that you should probably avoid. And this goes for family members, especially, which is probably going to be the most difficult. But the people who complain a lot, right? There's justifiable complaints and things like that. But people who are always finding something to complain about is a flag. People who are always negative, again, uh, they are pessimistic and prone to falling into a victim mindset. And rather than taking accountability, which is a normal human reaction, it takes maturation, it takes time to develop the attenuation and the suppression of one's ego to save your your pride, because people don't want to make mistakes, right? But accepting yourself as a fallible human being, there's so much freedom in that. I can't even tell you. Can't even tell you. Um, my grandparents lived in Long Beach, California, and ran one of the biggest AA groups out there for addiction and alcohol. And if you don't have an addiction problem, if you don't have any issues, walking through the 12 steps is good for everybody. I I put in Chat GPT when it first came out, a education like curriculum for kids, because principally those 12 steps get you to take accountability for who you are, accept yourself for who you are. And this is what they mean by doing the work. Every life coach out there, you need to do the work. You need to do your shadow work. You want to talk about shadow work? That's the way to open it up. Fillet yourself open and point all of your mistakes, all of your shortcomings out to yourself. And then you start to accept yourself. And then you start to work on yourself self with these steps. And it's absolutely liberating. And who you become on the other side of that is what the whole journey is about. You know, in ways we're all hopefully trying to do that, but this is the difference between winners and non-winners. Winners are okay making mistakes over and over again, perfecting, polishing, and getting better. Nobody has probably failed more than your highest performers, your champions. The only difference is that they did not give up. They didn't stop trying. So you shouldn't either. You shouldn't either. Sure, you get tired and it's okay to take breaks. Just don't rest too long. Keep the progress going. Anyways, that was a sidebar, but you know, complainers, negative people, lazy people, um, People who have a victim mindset, people who lie, that's a big one. Because what comes out of here versus what they do, always believe what they do rather than what they say until you feel in that relationship that you have with that person, they've established enough credibility. And I'll kind of get on to a different part of that. People who use other people, right? People who are jealous. Um, I've got some, I'd say, really friendly acquaintances that are extremely, extremely successful. And the amount of hate that they get is in all kinds of different forms. Sometimes it's direct, you know, what are you doing? You're showing off all your money like that, or, whatever. And then others are really passive aggressive, you know. It's it's really interesting to watch. But these people work their asses off to get where they are. I watched it happen. And I celebrate with them. And you should too. And that goes for anybody who's trying to start a business or a side hustle. You should definitely be their biggest cheerleader, be their champion, you know. Um, Other people you want to avoid, people with who don't have goals, you know. Um, it's hard to find a direction, especially when you're younger. Excuse me. But the you want to have at least a direction, you know. Get with somebody who has direction to help you find yours, but you ultimately have to be the decision maker in that. People who discourage you, who don't believe in you, who say things that are bringing you back down, people who always have an excuse and don't take accountability. That's a huge one. It's always somebody else. You always, we all have that friend who's like, I can't ever find the right person or whatever. You you can. The person exists. If it's everybody else, then you're the problem and you need to fucking change. That's it. And again, it kind of goes back to that work. Holding a mirror up to yourself, looking at these things that are ugly, because we all have them, right? We all have them. And then working on one, chipping it away. It's like sculpting a statue. You have one big lump of clay, but somewhere in there is a magnificent piece of art. And you're that too. So you remember that. You're worth working on. And you're worth more to so many people than you probably give yourself credit for. Um, Energy vampires. Whew. I'm a pretty positive person at work. Being human, I'm prone to, falling to a 5 out of 10. Sometimes, some days it's a 3. But most days I'm floating between a 7 and a 9. Because you always got to leave a little room for the 10. But uh, energy vampires will take all of your positivity, all of the coaching, all of the help that you're trying to give them, and do absolutely nothing with it. And that goes back to the behaviors. Show me that you're trying. Show me. Don't give me excuses. Show me demonstrable behaviors that you're working towards a goal. And I will not give up on you. Most managers, CEOs, if they can tell that, mostly it's just a measure of your own character. And that comes with practice too. But yeah, those energy vampires, they will take and take and take. And sometimes you're casting your pearls before swine. And so you got to make sure that your information, the help that you're lending, the wisdom that you're bestowing is going to its highest and best use. Um, One of the other things is, and this is popular in relationships, and it's not boys or girls or male or female. It's a human thing, and it's called DARVO. It's an acronym, and it stands for deny, attack, reverse, the victim, and the offender. And most people, because we all are human, and so we all have different variabilities on this. But this is where somebody makes a mistake and then flips the script and makes you feel bad about it when you're the one the mistake happened to. And that is a big red flag. You watch other people in their relationships, and these people who are avoiding taking accountability, uh, there's a lot of work that that person needs to do, right? Again, self-preservation of our egos. But yeah, that is one of those things, and somehow you end up feeling like you're the one that did the bad thing, and that that comes from early childhood, and there's strings and things that are attached to having a hypercritical parent or guardian or peer in your early life, and striving for perfection. And so it's really just an interesting dynamic. um One of the best things is that just making sure you control who is in your circle. So I'm going to cut this video short because my videos run long, and God knows at this point, if any of you have watched this, I can ramble on about anything forever. But I wanted to leave you with a little bit more positivity, and share this video, like the video, comment, whatever you want to do. Please just help me grow, because I'm getting better, and I hope you are wanting to get better. But also let me know if I got something wrong or misunderstood something, or maybe can look at it a different way. But with that said, you guys have a great week, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Um, with that, try to be kind to somebody. Yeah. Peace.